Hey there, welcome to Red State Update. My name's Jackie Bros.
Folks, people, it's Dunlap. Jackie, it's good to be here with you on the Red State Update podcast. For folks that don't know, Jackie and I do not like Donald Trump. He is the president of the United States of America right now, currently, in case you ain't heard of him. He is this big, dumb bastard who is fucking shit up.
All right.
And killing people by the thousands. I'm sorry, Jackie, I cut you off. Were you going to say something about Donald Trump? Do you like him now or something?
No, I don't like him. You know damn well I don't like him. Now, you can say it without the language, even though you want to say the language that goes with him. But I think it's still important that we say watch your language, because he don't, and he just made. I'm telling you, anything that he does, if your child did it at the dinner table, you'd reach across and knock the hell out of them, and you'd be entitled to do it.
Well, I don't know that you should hit children, or
no. If they act like him, no. If a child does anything like him, smart mouth or whatever, no, you know, don't ball up your fist. A slap is what I'm saying. Don't hurt them permanently, but yeah.
So, if I may, what you're saying is child abuse is bad. Well, you should never strike a child unless that child is Donald Trump.
There you go. I'll go with that. More or less, yeah, that'll work.
Because I can't imagine a normal kid, anywhere in this country doing the things that Donald Trump would do. I mean, that kid would be a monster.
Yeah.
It'd be like if Damien just wanted everybody to know he was the Antichrist. Like if there was no hiding, like that kid's the Antichrist.
Yep.
It's obvious to me. Oh, wait, shit. Does that mean Trump is the Antichrist?
I just thought the devil was smarter than that, but I guess I'm wrong, because they always said they're going to come and when he send the Antichrist, when he come down to earth or wherever from hell he comes, and then, you know, he was going to be a smooth talker, suave, and, you know, attractive, and Trump ain't none of that. He ain't none of that. I just thought the devil the devil's offspring, I thought, would be, you know, to me, I think the devil's ashamed or mad that you know, Trump has stepped in to kind of ruin that point, you know.
Well, yeah, I don't think in the Bible says that the Antichrist would be a big, ridiculous, lumbering dickhead.
No.
I remember going to church, they'd be, the devil is seductive. The devil is attractive. The devil is smart. And like, this guy's just an idiot. And somehow we're just letting him get away with it. Like that would be a terrible passage in the Bible. It'd be like, the devil's going to come, you idiots. And you're just going to let him do whatever he wants to do. I don't know if y'all are tired or what, but he's just going to get away with it. Look, Jackie, you don't have to be the Antichrist to be Antichrist. So and if you're going to church, I guess that's what people who go to church tell themselves. Like, look, he's Antichrist, sure, but he's not the Antichrist. So I think I will get enough out of electing him again that we won't go to hell for it.
Yeah.
My God, I imagine people sitting in them pews says, cares only about abortion. Like, that's pretty much it. A little gay sex, primarily abortion. Like 75% abortion, like 20% gay sex, and 5% miscellaneous. Whatever we're trying to nail you on that week.
Yeah.
So if I believe that my God, it's basically like somebody's hateful aunt from Kansas.
Why?
My God thinks that voting for Trump is a good deal, and that's who who else am I supposed to listen to? Jim Acosta? No, I'm going to listen to my terrible imaginary God.
That your preacher at church is backing up, by the way. It ain't like God's doing it on his own. You get a little help here and there.
Oh, yeah. You can't just imagine a God by yourself.
No.
There's got to be a lot of scared men desperate to hang on to power who help you imagine him.
I'll take Antifa over Antichrist, yeah. Any day of the week.
Weird bargains we're all making these days. Folks, if you haven't listened to us in a while and you're like, are they still just going to get on there and start complaining about Trump right off the bat? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, another thing that we keep doing is talking about police gunning down black people.
It's not like we want to talk about it. It's not like that's how I'd like to spend my damn day, you know.
Remember, I was like, hey, Jackie, why don't we start a podcast? That'll be fun.
Yeah. Was it ever, though?
Somebody's having fun doing their podcast. Some people just watch movies. They're like, yeah, well, we're talking, we're going through watching Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, we did. Remember, we did that for a little while. We would talk about movies and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. Even then, you're like, man, a lot of this was racist.
Well, yeah.
And then you start seeing the patterns. You're like, oh.
Well, as much as I don't like talking about police shooting, killing black people, it's not near as much as black people dislike or get tired of actually getting shot and dying. I think that situation's a lot worse on that end.
Yeah, I think that we've got it a little better.
Yep.
So that means that we have to keep talking, no matter whether you think. I'm not saying that we're going to solve racism, or that we're going to help at all. But I think we have to at least talk about the fucking tragedy and travesty. I started to say travesty, and it turned into tragedy.
What?
I guess it's a tragedy.
There you go.
That's 2020. It's a tragedy.
Yep.
The tragedy of the cops in Kenosha gunning down Jacob Blake. Not even the only. Like, how many people have been shot? I think there was a moment back earlier in the spring where well, okay, this is all bad, but at least this means it's going to stop. No, they just double down on it. They were like, okay, sure, they're going to attack protesters, but they're not just going to. Surely cops are going to be like, even the worst cops are going to be like, okay, I've enjoyed all the terrible things we've done, but I think the jig is up. We have to. No, they just keep just going to keep shooting black people. So Jacob Blake.
How many? Let's be honest here. The reason we're talking about this situation is because somebody had a damn phone filming it. How many times has this happened where there ain't no phone around? You ain't ever going to hear about it. If it happens this much with thank goodness, pretty much everybody's got one of these phones this nowadays. But good Lord.
So Jacob Blake shot in the back 7 times in the hospital, handcuffed to a bed. I think they took the handcuffs off of him now.
They took him off today, yeah.
Handcuffed to a bed. Kyle Rittenhouse, 17-year-old white kid, shoots protesters protesting the shooting of Jacob Blake in Kenosha, Wisconsin. He's not handcuffed to anything, I don't believe.
No.
I would imagine there was a brief instance where he was, but I'm not 100%. Maybe he has never been handcuffed. Possible. It's possible. Boy, Republicans really talk about cancel culture. They talked a lot about the cancel culture in the convention they just had.
What?
And but Republicans love cancel culture when it comes to finding reasons to justify cops shooting black people. Like, that's their version of going through people's 2012 tweets. I probably had a knife. He had a knife. And that, I don't know how many. I mean, I'm sure there's a knife in my truck somewhere. I know they sporks. I mean, there's really no telling what's in there. Honestly.
Well, I tell you, in this situation, whether there's a knife or not, there was, I think, 3 children in there.
Yeah.
That's a for sure thing. Everybody knows that the man's children were in the car.
And their version of that cancel culture is you get shot by the police, and it's a miracle if you survive paralyzed from the waist down. Like the cancel culture that they're railing about on the convention is like you probably like have to move to maybe another town and get a job at Walmart instead of being the racist head of PR for some corporation. I don't know. This is just examples. I don't even know who that person was I just made up. I mean, but you probably painted a picture. You're like, fuck that fucking PR person. Now they work at Walmart. Well, good. But that's better than being gunned down by the cops. So cancel culture, it just means different things to different people, I suppose.
I guess so.
So this time, Jesus Christ. So sports athletes, professional athletes have been canceling, postponing games. The WNBA, I believe, started it off. And the NBA canceled some playoff games. Different people, different sports teams. I think everybody is doing something.
Well, taking a knee obviously didn't do a whole lot of good. So what are you going to do? I mean, what the hell can you do? Hell if I know.
And then you have Tucker Carlson.
Oh, do we have to have Tucker damn Carlson?
Is he just going to get away with this? This seems like something. An incident where cancel culture could come in handy. When you have Tucker Carlson saying, how shocked are we that 17-year-olds with rifles, first of all, that first part's not great. The 17-year-olds with rifles. A lot of countries just be like, wait, what? Like, stop right there. How shocked are we that 17-year-olds with rifles decided they had to maintain order when no one else would? That's what Tucker Carlson said about this 17-year-old shooting people.
They got what do you call it, GoFundMes and starters and all sorts of things. People, they're going to make a hero out of this young man who, when I don't know for sure, but they said his mother drove him there. His mother drove him there with his AR-15 to drop him off to make sure, well, I guess to kill protesters is pretty much what they took him there for.
I've read articles, Jackie, say that these Zoomers, they're not as interested in getting their driver's licenses like we were when we were kids. I couldn't wait to get out on the road with my, giant gun to go kill protesters. Nowadays, I think with Uber and Lyft and your mom, you don't really need your own car, which is always sort of the American dream to drive to kill protesters. Your mama can take you, drop you off, maybe you catch a lift back. This time's changed, is what I'm trying to say.
I tell you who's real mad about, probably the maddest person about this 17-year-old. What's that boy's name? I don't even know his name.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
And I don't know the name of the person I'm about to talk about. Obviously, I'm not real prepared. But I tell you who's really mad about this Kyle is the man that ran over the woman in Charlottesville.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He is like, he's Tucker Carlson. Why did you choose him over me?
Or what about the canceled teen, Nicholas Sandmann? who got up in Native Americans' face. Remember all that? And then it turns out he was. That was not the case at all. He was, canceled for no reason. No, the media would never listen to me. Like that canceled teen, he's got to be like, I thought I was a canceled teen. This other teen really, they're getting worse.
Yeah.
They're bad. You watch and you're like, okay, this is bad. This is bad. It's just scary. It is scary because it just gets worse and worse. And you're like, oh, the last year the canceled teen was this guy. Like, oh, that son of a. And now the canceled teen is shooting protesters. I don't know.
I'm surprised they didn't get him to the RNC in time to be a speaker. I really am.
Well, fucking Ann Coulter, who I was real nice to one time, regretfully, said, that she wishes he was her president.
Yeah, that man that ran over people in Charlottesville got to be just in his cell pacing back and forth like, why this guy instead of me? I started it. He's stealing my stick. I'm in jail for the rest of my life. If Charlottesville happened today, if it was flip-flopped, would they be defending that man on Fox News today? I mean, that would happen so long ago toward the beginning of all this mess. But that's how far we've come from that to where we're at now.
It is really weird how they still say he never said there was good people on both sides. What he really said was, I don't know what they say because he obviously said it, but it's funny that they still split hairs over that. But then this kid shoots protesters and they're like, no, he's fine. He did good. Good job.
He better than fine. Yeah, he's a damn hero.
Because Tucker Carlson's on there saying it, and it works to raise an army of armed 17-year-old white kids, terrified right before an election. It works to just really vilify the protesters, dehumanize them, take anything, their cause, make their cause seem ridiculous when you can say that's fine for kids to shoot them. And it's also a campaign ad for Trump. Maybe the least worrisome part, but still, just say, look how bad things are. They're so bad. The 17-year-old kids had to step up. They're so bad. Things are really bad, guys. That's why I'm on this. Normally, I wouldn't like it if a 17-year-old shot people. Normally, under normal times, but with this Biden administration, we've got to vote him out, you guys. We got to get Trump in there to drain the swamp.
Look
it
what
works
Biden,
on a lot of levels.
Look what Biden has done. He is responsible for this chaos in the streets. We have got to get him out and get Trump in the White House. Yes, sir.
We can't go another day with the President Biden.
That was almost in the damn convention. The country's never been better, never been greater. We've done so much. Yes, there's a pandemic, but besides that, we're doing so great. But look what Biden has done. Look what he has done to the street. We need law and order. Biden ain't the country's in the worst shape it's ever been, but it's also in the best shape it's ever been. The country is racist. Nikki Haley, when she starts her speech, my parents dealt with this, but then the country is the least racist. It ain't a racist country. None of it makes any sense. You can't have it the worst and the best.
Kellyanne Conway said the more chaos and anarchy and vandalism and violence reigns, the better it is for the very clear choice of who's best on public safety and law and order. Maybe the guy who's not president during the chaos, anarchy, vandalism, and violence. What do I know? Plus, they want, talk about false flag operations. Every time that you've seen it 100 times. If you watch any of these videos, there's protesters They're out protesting. Here come the cops. That's the violence. The violence comes when the police show up.
The violence starts it all. The violence is shooting somebody in the back 7 times. That's it. That's where it starts. Now, I ain't condoning looting or rioting or any of that stuff, but for them, this administration, every night we heard about what's happening in the streets and the protesters, but not once did we hear why the hell they're there.
And now we've got a president who thinks, at least, that he benefits from police shooting black people on camera, not just in general, not just as a policy, but like as a publicity stunt. So the next black person that gets killed by cops, it leads to protests, it leads to cops showing up, causing more violence. Trump thinks that's good for him. People get mad at Obama for the beer summit. So things are going great. Things are going great, and this is the backdrop for against which the GOP, the grand old party, this long-standing political party in America, Jackie, I don't know if you've heard of them, called the Republicans. The Republican Party held their convention this week. Jackie, did you get to see any of that? Did you get to watch?
I tried. It'd make me sick to my stomach. I read about it. I seen bits and pieces, but I ain't going to put myself through that mess. Hell no. And evidently, a lot of people felt the same way because from what I hear, and I don't give a damn about TV ratings, but as far as the president's concerned, he sure does. I guess there's about 3 million less people watch his show in the Biden show. In the Biden show, they did have some fireworks. They did have a little bit of fireworks, but at the end of the Trump, they said it. They lit it up. His name came up in fireworks. Just lit up the sky, lit up wherever it was. It came on, Trump. So they should have lit up the numbers of people that are dead from COVID by now. Light that up. Put that up somewhere. Hell.
So you ain't supposed to use the White House or as a...
Oh, don't start. Don't say Hatch Act. Don't say it. What's the point of saying it when it don't mean a damn thing? Oh, the Hatch Act. They doing that thing. Oh, you ain't supposed to do it. I know you ain't supposed to do it, but why the hell did they do it? What does it mean? Evidently, it don't mean nothing. You keep bringing it up. You keep telling me they ain't supposed to be doing well. To do something about it. Well, I guess I am by saying Hatch Act. It ain't enough. What, to put out a subpoena or something for Pompeo today? They're going to trying to, what does it matter? What's a subpoena to him? What does that mean? None of every law, everything is supposed to be what the Constitution, everything that we hold dearly about this country, the good aspect, none of it means a damn thing. If it meant something, they wouldn't be walking all over it and go to the bathroom on it every damn day.
They do go to the bathroom on it every damn day.
Every damn day.
I feel a lot like, you ever watch a mystery or old Columbo or a Knives Out with somebody who thinks they're smarter than the detective and smarter than the people that wrote the detective? So they're looking for clues in all the wrong places. So you're watching it and somebody, oh, yeah, see what he just did there? Look on his face. What he put in his pocket? He didn't put nothing in his pocket. Nobody cares. You're looking at the wrong place for the clues. You don't know how movies work. That's how I feel every time I say Trump ain't supposed to be doing something. I've just been sitting on the couch all the time no, he ain't supposed to be doing that. Yep, that's how they're going to get him. And turns out nobody even cares what they put in his pocket. Nobody was even looking. It's just somebody putting something in his pocket. It's just like a weird edit.
He grabbing every fancy golden ashtray in the fancy house and stuffing his pocket, doing it right in front of everybody. hiding the murder weapon. What's the point of hiding the murder weapon? We saw that you murdered the person. Ain't no point in hiding the knife in there, whatever it is. You told everybody that you killed him.
It does feel like a lot of running and catching up. Like we know where you hid the murder weapon, and we have him murdering the person on tape. But we're spending like months in an investigation of where he hid the murder weapon. I think we nearly found it. We know he murdered. I mean, what difference does it make? What difference does it make?
Subpoena Pompeo. Good. If it meant something, I'm all for it. But it ain't going to make a damn. That's what makes me worry about this damn election. What makes anybody think that any of these people are going to adhere to anything concerning an election? Tell me what it is. Why would suddenly they have a change of heart for the election results? He has said it over and over again. He said it before he got elected the first time. Nope. I ain't going to accept the results of the election. Nope. Says it over and over again. What do you think is going to happen on election night? If he wins, he'll accept them just fine. Other than that, why would anybody think that this will do it? Get out. And I'm not telling nobody not to vote. Good Lord, that's the last thing I'm saying. I hope in my heart, I'm optimistic as best as I can be. Get your butt there, get your family there, get as many people as you can there. So the vote is so overwhelming that it's going to be that much harder for them to say otherwise. If it's close and Biden wins, he don't win. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I don't know. Between now and November and after November, it could be any damn thing. Don't have a clue.
So, Trump talked last night. He talked for 70 minutes. At the end of the convention, he had fireworks. His name in fireworks. He said we'd have a vaccine by the end of the year, but there was 1,000 people at the White House and nobody was wearing masks.
Well, they're counting on that vaccine. They're like, well, we're going to get sick. But he just said there'll be a vaccine. So
either there's actually going to be a vaccine that he forces through. That's just like something Granny Clampett cooked up. No, that's an insult to Granny Clampett. I take that back.
Yeah.
If Granny Clampett cooked it, it would probably work, or it'd make smoke come out your ears, or make you run real fast, or make you smart. Did she have one that made Jethro real smart? I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Her tonic, more likely, I put all my faith behind Granny's tonic than anything they're planning on shilling to the American people here soon enough.
I would turn up that cauldron and drink every last drop of Granny Clampett's tonic before I'd take a sip of anything that Trump put in a spoon for me. Was her last name Clampett? She was a Clampett, right? I get these Bodines and Clampett and this whole family tree.
Granny.
Unnecessarily complicated on the Beverly Hillbillies.
Well, that's family. That's family for you. That's families.
That's true. It is needlessly complicated. So they're either going to push through a vaccine that don't work, or he's just going to say there's going to be a vaccine, and then there'll never be a vaccine, and everybody will be fine with that. Everybody's just fine with all the lies. The whole thing, the convention was lies. The whole thing was lies the entire time, and it was cult-like. It was weird. It was like a Christian ripoff version of a political convention, or with all the lying, it was like Jim Jones got a primetime special and all the women had to wear red. It just wasn't. I felt disoriented watching it. There were so many lies. I mean, everything that they said was a lie. It was 4 nights of disinformation. And we're worried that if he wins again, it's going to be like an authoritarian. I mean, we just had 4 nights of blatant lies. It's North Korea already. Are they going to lie more?
We're living in it now. Just like when he says, look what Joe Biden's doing to the protests or what. I mean,
Joe Biden come out and said the problem we have is we're in Donald Trump's America. He said he views this as a political benefit to him. That's not Joe Biden saying that. He's just saying what Kellyanne Conway said that we said earlier. He's rooting for more violence, not less. He's clear about that. What's he doing? He's pouring gasoline on fire. This happens to be Donald Trump's America. That's true. Nobody's going to hear that. All they hear is the part the Trump lies. Mike Pence. Wednesday night at the convention, you had Kaylee, you had Kellyanne, you had Laura, and then you had Mike Pence, who was at Fort McHenry, I'm guessing guarded by soldiers so that none of the women got close to him. And he said President Trump marshaled the full resources of our federal government from the outset. It's him talking about coronavirus, Jackie. You know where everybody's dead?
Oh, I know.
He directed us to forge a seamless partnership with governors across America in both political parties. I guess seamless partnership means insult, browbeat, and withhold resources from.
That woman in Michigan.
Yeah, that's seamless. Seamless. The hard truth is you won't be safe in Joe Biden's America.
How can it? That's what Joe Biden needs, just to come out and say that. How can it be any worse? Just run on that, Joe. Just like, I sniff little girls' hair sometimes. I've said more than a few racist things, but really, how am I going to be any worse than this?
Tuesday night, Melania Trump talked. Everybody's mad that she ruined the Rose Garden, come in like Delia Deets. And just, I guess I can see a lot of the stuff with the Trumps is just insult to injury. Like, they've injured you, in some cases, literally, in many cases, literally, and then they insult you after you're injured. That's, I guess, trolling. But really, who gives a fuck about the Rose Garden also? Hey. That's part of me feels like that. It's hard. It's one of those things where you can get in a fight on Twitter about misplaced priorities, and then you spend all night fighting with somebody on your side because nobody knows what to be mad about first.
The thing at Rose Garden tells me more than anything else, she's getting it set up nice because she's going to be looking at it for another 4 years. She's doing it right now, right before the election.
Pompeo was in Jerusalem. Again, Hatch Act. Trump had a naturalization ceremony. I mean, come on. That's not cool.
And some of those people didn't even know that they were being exploited like that. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to America.
But people literally crawl across cut glass to get in this country still to this day. So it ain't their fault. Wherever they're coming from for whatever reasons, they won't be here. But I'm sure that please exploit me. So you can't blame them.
DHS Secretary Chad Wolf. Secretary Chad was there. Also, probably Hatch Act. He, I mean, again, let's make some new citizens while he's also trying to develop heat rays to shoot at people crossing the border while kids are still in camps, while they're keeping people out of the country. Stephen Miller is literally goes around to airports and just points people out, tells them to get back on the plane. He doesn't do that. Maybe he does. I don't know. He
probably does that on his days off from writing 70-minute long speeches.
You have Nikki Haley, you have Tim Scott up there making you. None of this is for. It's all for white people.
Yeah, I'm tired of CNN saying I'm all saying, well, he really needs to get that black vote. That's why he's commuting this sentence, or that's the reason he had this. No, it ain't. Every black person you saw on the stage at the RNC is for white people and white people only. All these people who, sadly, I'm mad at you as it is, because if you're on the fence about voting for Trump because of racism, you should have been over that fence and 100 yards ahead. But people are unbelievably on the fence, like, well, the racism, I just can't tolerate that. Well, Trump puts up, gives you cover with all these African Americans singing his praises. Well, if they vote for him and I got issues, well, why? I'm sitting there talking about the fence on racism. What about the fence on the country being in worse shape than it was during the damn Great Depression? What about a pandemic that's killing people, hundreds upon thousands of people every damn day? Isn't that enough for you? Why are we even having this conversation?
What about the actual fence that Steve Bannon stole money from you to not build?
Yeah.
Like
Stealing
an
money.
actual fence that's not there. Parts of it are there that blows over.
How much money is Trump right now stealing from the RNC? It come out how many million, he funneling all these millions and millions of dollars through campaign money, putting it into his businesses here and there. He find little ways to do it. He might as well blatantly, be on TV and saying, thank you for the contribution, and just shove it in his pockets. And people like, keep putting that money.
If he gets elected again, it'll be a lot more blatant about the money he takes, and then people will still be on Facebook. Oh, he donates his salary. Trump's private businesses have raked in $900,000 in taxpayer dollars since he took office, in large part by fleecing the Secret Service with forced preemptive room bookings and resort fees, according to Washington Post David Fairnholt. And then they threatened him by saying the Washington Post is blatantly interfering with the business relationships of the Trump organization. It must stop. White House spokesman, not Trump organization spokesman, White House spokesman Judd Deere, they have the worst names, said in a statement to the Post before pivoting to a direct threat. Please be advised that we are building up a very large dossier on the many false David Fairnholt, that's the reporter, and other stories, as they are a disgrace to journalism and the American people. It's going great.
I was going to say, don't forget to add, Secret Service. A lot of them are getting COVID too because they got to go to these rallies he's having.
Is he making money off COVID? I'm sure he is. And him
and Pillow Man trying to? I got this right. Is curious. What do you mean? Is he making money off COVID? Yeah. Pillow Man on TV, drink this, or shoot up this, or do that. It's crazy.
Well, this is extra strength. I put 3 pillows in it. Yeah, things are. Kimberly Guilfoyle on Monday, she gave a great speech, screech. You've probably seen that in the memes, but that is just the way the whole thing went. President Trump believes in you. He emancipates and lifts you up to live your American dream. You are capable. You are qualified. That sounds like what they play in Wall-E when you're on your little chair. And then the people who pointed guns at black people, the McCloskeys, they showed up. Was that the same night Nikki Haley was there saying that America's not racist? They had the people who pointed guns at black people and people protesting racism.
Not even, but they didn't
on the same show.
It was either the day before that or that one. Yeah, black people. They're walking down the damn street. They didn't even get on your damn property. How many people you think that spoke at the Republican convention have waved a gun at black people. I mean, them for sure, yeah, that's why they're there. But I'm just wondering how many people just, are known for something else and they just do that for fun. I'm telling you, I don't know why 17-year-old didn't get a chance. There's next year for that, I suppose.
Well, I mean, there's campaign commercials. There's all sorts of ways to get him in there and fit him in.
When will he be on Tucker Carlson?
I mean, how many more shows do you got this week? I really thought, this may be the end for Tucker Carlson when I first saw him say that. And it's like, oh, shit, I guess no. I guess he's fine. He's fine. What happened to that guy that got fired for being racist? Was he holding Tucker back? Was there somebody more racist than him that like writes Tucker Carlson stuff? It's like, fuck, it's my time to shine. See you later, lib.
Maybe he got fired for not being racist enough, I guess. Yeah.
How are you gonna? This guy was posting white supremacist in a white supremacist message board. Oh, he said some racist things on Twitter.
So is Stephen Miller. So is Stephen Miller, the man that wrote that 70-minute long damn thing, proving facts right there in front of you. Stephen Miller works in a damn White House.
So now what is the difference between white supremacist message boards and the Republican National Convention, between Tucker Carlson and Fox News, which is like, there's like OANN. How many? I don't know how many N's is in that one. There's Breitbart. There's worse things than Fox, and Tucker Carlson's on there saying, hold my white supremacist beer. I guess they want you to think there's worse things than Fox. Maybe that's a scam too. I don't know what's real anymore, Jackie. I don't know what's real. I just don't say why. Oh, this guy was posting to white supremacist message boards. So we got to get him off Tucker's show. What's the difference between the message board and this Tucker show?
Hell, way back when Trayvon Martin got killed, Hannity had on the Zimmerman, his killer on his damn show.
Yeah, I remember with George Floyd, there was a minute where it seemed like, I think we're all kind of, a lot of America seemed united, more so than usual. And we went real fast to just like white people shooting into crowds of people protesting racism is fine. Went real quick to that. Probably was a knife in that car. There's a lot of stuff, why didn't he just stop why didn't he listen to the cops? They always say. It's always freedom when they don't want to wear a mask, and it's law and order when it's a cop shooting a black person. Hey, no, Jackie, it's not all doom and gloom. There's also deadly hurricanes and fires. There's apocalyptic global warming, protests, violent police action. There's and COVID also. There's a million more unemployment people filing for unemployment. There's COVID killing. How many people was it during the convention? Did you say that more people died of COVID during the Republican convention than died during 9/11?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm wrong.
From the beginning to the end of it, yeah.
I'm wrong. It is all doom and gloom. I'm sorry.
Now, our hearts go out to all y'all in Texas, Louisiana. It's a mess down there. I'm glad we didn't lose as many people as they thought it was going to actually be worse than it was. But don't worry, the president will be there this weekend. He's on his way down there. So
is he going down there to put that Confederate statue that the wind blew down back up?
Probably.
That was her. There was a Confederate statue in Port Charles. I don't know.
Yeah, they voted. Everybody voted to keep it up. No, this one needs to stay.
This is a good one, y'all.
This is my favorite racist statue. Sure, take that one down. But this one here, pure, beautiful racism. We need to keep this up.
Trump suggested withholding federal aid for California because California didn't vote for him,
and they don't rank the force,
and they don't rank that. He told them, "Okay, you don't vote for me, and you don't rake the woods. Fuck you, then."
Watch your mouth. I had to go all the way out there to California and show you how to rake a forest, and you still. Oh, plus sanctuary cities, yeah, that too, yeah.
Let's see here. Pelosi said she didn't think there should be any debates. I wouldn't legitimize a conversation with Trump.
Is anyone at all excited to see a debate between Biden and Trump? I don't know. I mean, Trump fans who think he's, maybe them.
Trump fans think that Biden's going to embarrass himself in a debate. Biden has agreed to a debate like forever ago.
The usual thing, there's three of them. He said, we're going to do the usual thing, but ain't nothing usual about this administration, so who knows what's going to happen.
I think saying Trump, I can't imagine that Trump's going to want to do. I mean, I think that's it. When they say Biden, they try to say that Biden's not going to want to debate. I mean, Trump is not going to want to debate. He'll have one debate.
That's what they do. They accuse you of exactly what's going on. I mean, that playbook's old as hell.
It'll go for shit, and Trump will probably pull out of the last two. Or maybe he'll have a good time, even though it does go for shit. They did manage to muzzle him. I mean, he showed up, and he, on the last night, he talked for 70 minutes. But at the beginning of the thing, I thought he was going to be there every night. They said he was going to show up every night. And I thought he's just going to ramble on at the end of the damn thing. Remember when the morning that it all started, he came out and he rambled for forever. Do you think somebody's like, we got to put a stopper in this? I don't think they can control him.
I remember the debates from 2016, and you can look it up on YouTube. I don't recommend it, but you can. The day after that we were talking about that debate, we said, well, he just shot, we saw those true colors. It's the end of Trump after that first debate. Boy, we wrong. He didn't do good in any of the damn debates. Everybody said Hillary beat him when he got to those. It don't matter. So why not? I used to think he don't want to debate. He don't want to get up there and have actual. You think he's going to get on CNN and let Jake Tapper, any of them, ask him a damn question? But he might. Why not?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. He get up there and he can pull his pants down, take a crap right there in the middle of the stage. It don't matter. They would be singing his Tucker Carlson says it's about time somebody prove to us what these debates really are. It don't matter. He can get up there and ramble. They'll say he did a great job.
Yeah, they don't matter. I mean, we see the crimes. He's doing the crimes out in public. He's got the corrupt attorney general working for him. So if it does start to matter to somebody, they can just make it where what he did wasn't a crime. They can snatch protesters off the streets. We see that, but then they say that the streets are full of violence and Antifa. I think people who live out in the country watch Fox News think every city's like already done burned down because of Biden. They got people thinking that you got Facebook, you got Twitter, you got misinformation, you got fucking Russians, no matter what you think, every time we accuse you of being a fucking Russian stooge. So anytime anything does start to matter, there's lots of ways around it. I mean, he just told the CDC they come out because of Trump saying, hey, don't test, even if you've been exposed to it. Don't test. Testing is bad. Don't test if you've got symptoms. Just don't test. And when is that going to happen? When you just no test?
That's coming up soon, yeah. Dr. Fauci is under the knife. He got something on his throat for talking too much. A polyp or whatever, yeah. And because, bless his heart, he has to talk. Some people want to hear him anyway. So he didn't know nothing about the CD. That's the thing that makes me mad in hell. We've lost all faith in any institution. Now, a lot of you smarter than me didn't have a whole lot of faith in government institutions to begin with, perhaps, yeah. But I used to think the FDA would at least, keep me from getting poisoned when I buy my produce from a grocery store. Now I don't know. Because they say you do this plasma. It's just we didn't know how fragile the entire Constitution or any of these institutions within it were all along. They were just this easy to manipulate, to change, to do whatever. And we're watching the dumbest man that probably ever lived. He's the one that's doing it. So what does that say about the Constitution? What does that say about all of these things? He ain't doing it on his own. Granted, you got the GOP there out there helping him every step of the damn way. But don't bring up a Hatch Act. Don't bring up all, because it don't mean nothing. This man has proved it means nothing. I want it to mean something my whole damn life. I grew up believing that you wouldn't find anybody more patriotic than me. But in one fell swoop of one term of this damn idiot, he showed me it was a bunch of bull. Because they letting him.
They ought to impeach him. They really ought to.
I'm sure that would make a difference, yeah. Remember when impeaching the president meant a thing? I guarantee you, when he's gone, if we're still a country, that every single president will be impeached from here on out. And it won't mean a damn thing, whether he deserved to be or not. It don't matter.
You think he'll pay Stormy Daniels legal fees?
The judge said he had to. How much is it? I don't know.
He can just take it out of the...
RNC going to pay her. He ain't going to pay her. That's the Republican Party going to put every cent in that porn star's pocket. That's the Family Values RNC. They'll be covering all those debts. Don't you worry about that.
All right, Jackie, we've talked about how nothing is real, how the authoritarian regime is already underway, how things are on fire and underwater, people are dying, nobody's got a job, and yet no one will hold the president accountable for any of the things he was elected to do or supposed to not do when you're elected. Hatch Act. Things are not great, but I would, if I could, carve out a few minutes here at the end. If you would indulge me, Jackie. Because self-care is important, and I really would like to talk about Jerry Falwell Jr.
All right, I'll give you a few minutes on that. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
All right, so Jerry Falwell Jr., I don't know if everybody has heard about this, but basically his wife, this is Jerry Falwell Jr. It's not Jerry Falwell, it's Jerry Falwell Jr. What's worse than being Jerry Falwell? Well, this. I guess there's two things worse than being Jerry Falwell. What's worse than being Jerry Falwell? Being Jerry Falwell Jr. What's worse than being Jerry Falwell Jr.? Being Jerry Falwell Jr.'s wife. So Becky, with an I, Falwell, was fucking the pool boy. Good for her.
Hey, you don't have to say it that way, but yeah, carrying on with him is what
Do it. Get it going. Good for you, Becky Falwell. I, much like Jerry Falwell Jr., wish I could have seen it. I wish I could have been there too. Not just so that I could say, this woman who is probably terrible, but deserves something for being married to Jerry Falwell Jr. Maybe she's worse than him. I don't know. Maybe she don't deserve that good poo boy dick. I don't know. They were trying to work it out. The institution of marriage is important in this day and age. And if it takes some strange up in it to keep it going so that you can have your shitty university job, what did he do? Was he the president of Liberty University? What does that mean?
I don't know what it means. It means you go on cruise ships or something. I don't know.
Jerry Falwell Jr., when this scandal broke, something was happening with him also. I don't think we know exactly the full story. Because was it just that this was about to come out and he was kind of having a breakdown? Was he about to lose the cushy life that Jerry Falwell Jr. was so accustomed to? Preachers' kids go one of two ways. Either wild or they come up being a preacher too. Or just an insufferable dickhead like Jerry Falwell Jr. So Jerry Falwell Jr. said, free at last, thank God Almighty, I'm free at last, when he submitted his resignation to Liberty University, which is what I believe that's what is that speech? That's the famous I got cucked by my wife speech. Is that the name of it? I don't know. It's a famous speech that he shouldn't have quoted right then. His contract, Jackie, entitles him to a $10.5 million severance package. So Jerry Falwell Jr. watched his wife fuck the pool boy and made $10 million. If that happened to me, I'd believe in God too. He is departing from the university without being formally accused of or admitting to wrongdoing. That's why he gets his severance package. He will receive $2.5 million over 24 months, equivalent to 2 years' salary. He agreed not to work for a competing university during that time. What university competes with Liberty University? I feel like they're in a class of their own. What?
The university where people hit themselves in the head with a rock.
How do you? Well, that may be what your fancy school told you, but I go to Liberty University, where we read the Bible and we infect each other. So I guess there's other schools that compete with Liberty University in terms of infection, racism, and closed-mindedness. Probably these universities are the ones where our future Supreme Court justices are coming from. He agreed not to work for a competing university during that time. After 2 years, he will receive around $8 million in retirement. He said he signed a 20-page contract in 2019 that outlined these terms. The board was gracious not to challenge that, Falwell said of his decision to step down in good standing. Grace is important in Christianity, and we all could use a little more grace these days. Becky Falwell described the relationship as embarrassing and humbling. She said, I wish Christians could be as forgiving as Christ was. That's true. And I think that's an important message. I think we need more of that, because there's so many Christians, I think, that are not, forgiving as Christ was. And I think maybe we should think of that in terms of police not shooting people in the back, or not putting immigrants in cages. Not I got caught with pool cock in my fucking privileged ass scam bilking vagina.
All right, enough.
Becky with an I Falwell. It's probably not the villain here. She may be one of several villains here. But she did get that good strange dickin', so I'm good for her.
I know.
Wet ass pussy.
All right, shut your mouth.
All I'm saying is I don't want to take away Becky with an I Falwell's agency in getting what she needs. I don't want to take away Jerry Falwell Jr.'s agency in watching his wife. Did he jerk off? Did anybody ever say if he jerked off?
All right, enough.
Is my time up? Because I thought that I was still talking about it. So I don't know if Jerry Falwell Jr. got his grubby, money bilking, scammy, Jesus, sacrilegion hands around his pitiful, disgusting dick, and while his anyway, it's a good story. I advise you to read up on it if you haven't. Oh, I just saw the word sexual escapades in this article. This is an article with the pool boy. He entered into the sexual relationship with the Falwells willingly. Today, he feels the couple preyed upon him. Whether it was immaturity, naivete, instability, or a combination thereof, it was this mindset that the Falwells likely detected in deciding I was the ideal target for their sexual escapades. The naive pool boy. You know, it couldn't happen to worse people. The only thing I don't like about this story is somebody got fucked good.
Hey,
I mean, I'm going back and forth on whether she deserves a good fucking or not. Because she was married to Jerry Falwell Jr. and I feel like she was complicit. And they've been brought down from this terrible school. But again, Jackie, what does it matter? He's probably going to be on TV soon. He'll be in the Trump administration. Nobody gives a shit. You elect people. I mean, apparently Christians like people who just do everything that they tell you not to do, which they tell you not to do things so that you can use it against people you don't like, not for yourself. Nobody gives a shit if you watch your wife fuck the pool boy or not. That's only ammunition for you to use against people that you don't like. Nobody cares. It's free. No Republican cares about freedom. They care about themselves. No Trump voter cares about law and order. They care about themselves. Nobody cares if they jerk off while they watch their wife fuck the pool boy and ruin the reputation of an irredeemable Christian university. They only care if you do it. And you're a Democrat or black. Then you're in trouble. So, I wish she hadn't got fucked. Fuck her, but not in a good way.
Okay, enough. I don't want to hear it anymore.
You know what? I mean, everybody deserves to fuck. It's fine. It's fine that she got fucked. I hope she came.
There was a fella that I used to know, sat home all day watching videos of a horse and a woman and another woman too, doing things that a horse and a woman shouldn't do. Watching that mess is gonna take its toll. Horse porno's gonna damn your soul. You need a little old-time religion. You need a little churching up. A little Bible learning will keep your soul from burning. Yeah, you need a little churching up. Well, I knew a woman who wasn't too smart, spread peanut butter on her lady parts.
call the dog over to go to town. A dog and a woman makes Jesus frown. George Washington Carver did not create so you and your dog could have a date. You need a little old-time religion. You need a little churching up. A little Bible learning will keep your soul from burning. Yeah, you need a little churching up. Knew a scuba diver who saw his chance when a dolphin swam over to make romance. Started blowing that dolphin like he's making a wish. How you even know how to do that to a fish? That's something a normal person wouldn't do. You need to get your butt in the first row view. You need a little old-time religion. You need a little churching up. A little Bible learning will keep your soul from burning. Yeah, you need a little churching up. Man and beast shouldn't be in cahoots in a way that leads to knocking boots. Cattle, sheep, any type of bird. If you think you're alone, just know that God heard. Instead of making critters moan, read the holy word. You need a little old-time religion. You need a little churching up. A little Bible learning will keep your soul from burning. Yeah, you need a little churching up. I said a little Bible learning will keep your soul from burning. Yeah, you need a little churching. Churching up. Amen.